Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fernando here from Ostar Motorsports. I want to update you guys on how we're doing on this G80 project. Right now we're dealing with the heart of the beast, the engine and the transmission. So before we jump into the nitty-gritty details of this build, let me put you up to speed on what we've done. We've picked the best performance parts we could find on the market for both the engine and the transmission to make sure that when this thing comes out, is bonkers. It's ready to rock and roll. So the G80 platform is a stout platform, no doubt about it. It makes a lot of power. And there is a limit though. Once you hit a certain limit, the engine and transmission can only take you so far. So what do we do next? We have to build the engine and we have to build that transmission in order to be able to hold the newfound power. So as you saw on one of our previous videos, where we talked about the Dock Race turbo kit that's going into this build, we have a power level that we're trying to reach, and that power level is right around the 1200 mark. Now, in order to achieve that 1200 horsepower mark, we have to make sure we have the right components to hold that amount of power. So, because that being said, we teamed up with CP and Carrillo for the internals. We also have Kelford for the cams and a few other companies. We teamed up with Pure for the transmission because that's the other main component. Transmission needs to hold, otherwise, you know, doesn't matter how much horsepower we make, we won't be able to put it to the ground. So here it is, guys, the engine and the transmission. So with that being said, let me take you step by step on what we put in this engine and transmission. On the top here, we did a set of Kelford cams. We did the Kelford springs and retainers. For Rhea valves, we used their Competition Plus valves. For head studs, we went with ARP 625. Down on the bottom end, we went with CP pistons, their upgraded pins. We also did Carrillo rods. Now, for the bearings, we used OEM bearings, but we coated those using calico coatings. And that's pretty much it for the engine. Oh, one thing I'm missing. We did sleeve the motor with Darton sleeves. So that's another extra there. And then from there, of course, we also did the Pure transmission. Now this is Pure's top of the line transmission. This is their stage 3. This thing has been proven to hold in excess of 1300 wheel horsepower. Of course, our goal is 1200, but we want to be extra safe and make sure we have any loose ends tied up so that when we go to the track, all we have to do is dial it in and see those times come in. And then also we have, of course, supporting mods. So it's not just going to be the engine. Like we talked on the other video where we did the turbo kit reveal, we have the Dock Race turbo kit. So it goes from a twin turbo setup to a big single turbo, and this is meant to fit the Sportsman, so the little bit larger turbocharger, a larger frame. Does come with Turbo Smart wastegates. Super nice kit. Watch that video. And then another supporting mod we have is the Mishimoto intake or intercooler, intake slash intercooler. Bolts right up, everything's fit perfect. We also added a snow methanol kit just to help with temps. Of course, when you go with this amount of boost compared to factory, you're going to get a lot of hot air, and then you have the potential for knock. So rather than have to face those problems, we want to address them before we run into them. So this is why we picked the Mishimoto intercooler. We're also going to be running a KLM ice tank. The ice tank is going to be located in the trunk of the car, and that's going to flow up to this intercooler and then give us lower temps. So these are just some of the things that we're going to be adding to this project. One more supporting mod I wanted to touch base on is fueling. And without fueling, we don't really have anything. You need air, fuel, ignition to make horsepower. So fuel is very important. In this case, we have a port injection system. The port injection has a set of ID 1700 injectors, and then we also have, of course, the factory DI pumps. And we teamed up with Visconti, and we're using his stage 1 pump. Now, that might only take us to roughly about 1100. At that point, we will add a surge tank with 3 additional pumps that will then support much more horsepower, so 1400 horsepower if needed. So there you have it, guys. That about wraps it up for today as far as the engine and transmission, some of these supporting mods that we're going to be using on this project. We're super excited because we're down to the home stretch. We're almost done, almost ready to put everything back together and start testing, which is the most exciting part. Going to the dyno, going to the track, dialing in the car. So stay tuned because it's definitely going to get exciting from here on out. So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. That helps us keep this channel going, and we want to put a lot more stuff out there for you. So we don't want you to miss when we put this thing together. So remember, subscribe. And if you want to see more content, go to our channel. We have a bunch of other videos for you to watch, and stay tuned for the next one.